Compassion heals. Compassion disrupts ancestral karmic patterns of pain and trauma. But a lot of people might say that to be compassionate is easier said than done. Well, to be compassionate, we have to actually heal our brain. And with today's Kundalini yoga meditation, we're going to develop compassion by regenerating the brain. Satnam and welcome to today's Kundalini yoga meditation to disrupt the ancestral karmic pattern. Welcome, and especially this very beautiful day if you're catching this live or if you're catching it during this week where we are all resurrecting. This is a very powerful week where today specifically we celebrate a full moon in Libra, which you can check out my previous video here on my YouTube channel, on this podcast, so you can find out all of the juicy, very important details of this full moon in Libra, which is allowing us to connect with and become aware, especially of inner child ancestral pattern that perhaps has been a wound in our life. And not as a punishment, it is a blessing. Because the beautiful thing is that we all have tools like Kundalini yoga to actually change these patterns by learning to respond differently. We have tools like Kundalini yoga, which is the mother of awareness, to bring into awareness these patterns so that we can disrupt them at the core root level, which is at the level of the emotion, energy and motion. And so we're not being punished at all. We're being given an opportunity to change that pattern and to step into the embodiment of our incredible power, because that's the beauty of this practice. It allows you to crown yourself. And full moons, as they are, they're very, very important, because as they align to the earth with this potency of energy, we all know that they change the tides of the water even. Of course, we are mainly made up of water. So yes, they're going to impact us in very many different ways, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. But we can actually harness the energy of the full moon by practicing meditation so that we can become the authority of the energy. Right? We can transcend time and space, which time and space typically is where you are stuck in the repeating thoughts and patterns. In fact, today's meditation is specifically for that, learning to go beyond that pattern, learning to transcend the patterns of the mind so that you can unite with your divinity, with God herself expressing herself through you. That's the resurrection that we're all going through this week, especially if you are someone that also celebrates Easter. So through the full moon, we're allowed to release, to cleanse, to end cycles, and to stop the patterns and recurring situations through compassion and through awareness. Because if we cannot have compassion for ourselves, we simply cannot have compassion for others. And we all know that compassion means to be with suffering, to be with your own suffering and pain, to see that not only can it not destroy you, but that there is liberation through sitting with that pain. And through that, you giving others permission and being truly compassionate for them. I mean, we talked about in the last video of like the scientific benefits of compassion. We talked about the second principle of compassion, which is the ancestral karmic path or healing path. And you can check out that video for more, but we know that people with compassionate hearts, people that express compassion, many studies show that there's improved happiness in the individual, there's better mental health, a stronger immune system, you have reduced anxiety, stress, depression, improved relationships. I mean, you have a longer life. So you would think it'd be easier to choose compassion. But when we look at what trauma, emotional trauma, patterns of pain in your lineage do to your brain, you understand that not having compassion for yourself, for your ancestors, for your lineage is not a choice behaviorally. It's something that also you are impacted physically. The good news is that we don't have to take a magic pill to regenerate our brain. We can practice meditation practices like Kundalini yoga to help us regenerate, refurbish, heal, repair, helps the neurons start working faster to help you process emotion so you can be more compassionate, so you can feel healthier. And like we talked about in my last video, so certain areas can start to work again when they had stopped working because of the patterns of pain and trauma and abuse that perhaps you've been on. And there's one particular aspect of Kundalini yoga that's really powerful as it relates to the regeneration of the brain and ending and disrupting these patterns of thought. And that is breath. Because in Kundalini yoga, we work with sound frequency, which is mantra, the repetition of a specific sound to get you a specific result in your body, mind, and spirit. And breath is another important component of our practice. Breath is everything. Breath is pranayama, and it oxygenates the entire body, not just your brain, but especially your brain. Why does it need oxygen? Just the way you go and you give your body a workout, your physical body, and you give it all these amazing chemicals that help move energy. Meditation and pranayama, breath work, is what gives oxygen to that brain area, to the area of your body where there are emotional blockages. It helps you clear your mind. It strengthens the nervous system. And you know that when you have a strong nervous system, you have an agile brain, because your brain is producing the chemicals that are good for the body for healing, not the cortisol, stress hormone chemicals. And your nervous system, while it's stable, is creating a symbiotic, I can't even say that word, that beautiful dance between the brain's agility to process and be in this physical experience and the nervous system, which ultimately means consciousness, ability to bring the mind to the present moment and go beyond time and space, the patterns of your ancestors that don't serve you. Breath also balances two hemispheres of the brain, which when we're unconscious 95% of the day, when we're on a subconscious program, we are not in balance of both areas of the brain. We're overworking one or underusing another. That's creating imbalances in our physical health. So breath becomes an incredible tool for detoxification, for improving digestion, for releasing your fears, emotional insecurities, the depression, all those fear-based blockages that have been imprints in our ancestors' nervous systems that now perhaps are also imprinted in our nervous system and get turned on when we're not managing stress, as we know through epigenetics. So today's meditation is going to help us do that. And we're only going to start with 5 minutes today, because this meditation, as it is, if you're a beginner, you shouldn't practice it more than 11 minutes until you can know that you're getting a good rhythm with it and you're actually being conscious while you're doing it. And then you can increase it to 31 minutes. But even to begin with, 5 minutes is great. Try it for 1 week. Remember, all meditations, if you want to get the full effect, 40 days consistently. So you can do 40 days of 5 minutes, or 40 days where you start the first week for 5 minutes. The second week you go increase to 7 minutes. Maybe the third week you go to 8 or 9 minutes. And then the last week you move it up to 11 minutes. It's up to you. There's no like wrong or right about that. But do start at least with 5 minutes to get really conscious and centered with that breath. And then you can start to increase it as you move with it. Now, the meditation is going to incorporate breath, of course, and it's going to allow us to truly tap into human kindness. Remember, we're activating the frontal cortex part of the brain. We're activating specific areas to help that energy connect us to these chemical components of what compassion truly is. So that's what this meditation does. It helps by controlling through the rhythmic 8 strokes of breath that I'm going to show you, helps with your projected sound, how you show up in this world as your emotions. It helps to expand your energy so that you're projecting out in your aura, which is your electromagnetic field that we all have, healing, authentic acceptance energy. This is what gives you your excellence. And when you can tap into that excellence, you're giving others permission to do that as well. Instead of hiding your shadows and not being an acceptance of all that who you are. So it is actually said with this meditation that it gives you the ability to rise above time and space when practice, right? Anything actually that we deal with prana, with breath, is related to pranapati, which is the one who gives you the prana. I mean, how beautiful to know that we are in between the first breath we ever took and the last breath we'll ever take. prana, which sustains your life. So as we practice this meditation, I do ask that we practice it all with reverence and with a lot of devotion and humility, because it is a really, really beautiful, powerful one. So what we're going to be doing is, of course, we're going to be tuning in with Om Namo Guru Dev Namo first. And after we tune in, we're going to get right into the meditation. So I'll show you the mudra, which is the hand position, and the breath sequence that we're all going to be practicing together. We're going to be sitting in easy pose. You can be sitting on a chair too. Just align your spine where your spine is nice and straight. Your chin is going to be in and your chest is going to be lifted. And now we're going to place our hands in our mudra, which is our hands are going to come with our elbows resting on alongside of our rib cage. Your hands are going to be in front of your chest. The palms are going to be facing upward. The two Mercury fingers, which are these two little fingers, they're going to be touching at the outside part of the base of the palms. And now your ring fingers, which is the next finger, and your Jupiter finger, which is the pointer finger, they're just going to stay straight, as well as the thumbs. The thumbs are going to be pulled back towards you, but they're not going to be touching. The only fingers that are going to be touching are your middle fingers, and they're going to create a triangle. And of course, the Mercury fingers, which are your little tiny fingers. So little tiny fingers at the bottom are touching with the sides touching. Then the middle finger makes a triangle and they touch each other. The other fingers, the ring finger and the pointer finger, your Jupiter finger, are just pointing back. They're not touching. And your thumbs are pointing towards you. They're not touching either. So now you're going to bring this mudra right at the area of your chest. And your eyes are going to be closed. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale through the nose 8 strokes. Now you have to exaggerate, and you're going to break the inhalation into 8 equal segments. Now, I will tell you that if you're conscious about the first breath you take, it will help you finish the 8 strokes. If sometimes when we're beginning and we haven't done any breathing techniques, it's really difficult to finish the 8-part sequence. You run out of breath. So first, just do the best you can. It'll get better and better as you expand your lung capacity, which clears a lot of subconscious programming. Be very conscious about the first breath you take, because if you're conscious about that first breath, it's almost like that consciousness, that present moment is what takes you to finish even the breath that you thought you would never be able to finish. So trust yourself in the process. So you're going to take 8 inhales in, but you're going to then exhale through your mouth, and you're going to exhale in 1 breath out. Just like that. So you're inhaling separately, which I'll show you right now. You're going to feel that breath travel the length of your spine, the length of your nose. Each count of your stroke is going to be about 1 second. And then when you're done, you're going to exhale completely with the whistle through the puckered lips. And if you don't know how to whistle, like I'm not a very good whistler, then just do the best you can. You'll get better and better. Okay, so let me show you how it works. So you're in this mudra position, your eyes are closed, chin tucked in, and you're going to inhale through your nose 8 times. And then you're going to exhale, and you're going to begin again. And you're going to begin again. Okay, so that's it. So before we begin, let's tune in with the Om Namo Guru Dev Namo mantra. You're going to be listening to a sound frequency of the gong. Behind me is a gong. These beautiful sacred tools, relics, actually reduce and eliminate pain in the physical body. They go deep into the subconscious mind. You're going to be listening to a sound frequency created by the White Sun, some of my favorite musicians, artists that share this type of music. So just let that gong also penetrate the consciousness. Feel what you're feeling. And if you're wearing headphones, even better, really get the potency of also the sound frequency behind you. So let's go ahead and get started first by tuning in with the Adi mantra. So rub your hands together, close your eyes, bring your hands into prayer pose. As we do this, we're going to take 3 inhales through the nose, Exhaling through the nose. On the last exhale, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And then I'll start us off with our prayer and we'll move right into the meditation. Let's begin. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And last time to begin. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. Exhale. Adguri name, Jugadguri name, Sadguri name, Sri Gurudeve name. Adguri name, Jugadguri name, Sadguri name, Sri Gurudeve name. Adguri name, Jugadguri name, Sadguri name, Sri Gurudeve name. Inhale. Exhale. And release the prayer pose. And let's go ahead and begin by positioning our hands in the mudra. Again, hands in front of your chest. Allow the pinkies to touch. Allow the middle fingers to create a triangle and touching. All the other fingers pointing up and back. The thumbs pointing towards you, also not touching. Now, begin your 8 inhale through the nose strokes. Remember, you separate the breath. And then when you're done, whistle out. Puckered lips. Close your eyes, chin in, nice straight spine. Please continue. 5 minutes is all we're going to do. Conscious breath. And please finish your last sequence here. Powerful breath. And as you complete your last sequence here, let's all take a deep inhale still with our hands in the mudra. Exhale. Release the mudra. Rub your hands with each other together. Your hands to your knees, align your spine, keep your eyes closed, become still for a moment. Bring your hands back to prayer pose. Let's end together with a short Sat Nam by inhaling and exhaling Sat Nam. Truth is my identity. Inhale. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Waheguru Vaiju Sat Nam. Please honor yourself and open your eyes, and remember, as you are opening your eyes, that God herself is realizing herself through you. Through me. Wow. Just feel what you feel. These breathing techniques or these breathing meditations are very, very powerful. So you could feel a lot of different sensations and tingling of the body. Of course, trust yourself and love yourself and share your experience with us. And more importantly, commit to the 40 days. We want regeneration of the brain. We want to go beyond time and space, those patterns. Stick to that commitment and continue on 40 days and share with us your journey, of course, here in the comments, so we can continue to support you in disrupting these ancestral karmic patterns. And of course, to find out more about the science behind compassion and why it is the second ancestral karmic principle of healing, check out the video before this one. I will see you all next week as we continue our journey on the 7 principles of ancestral karmic healing and the meditation to support that. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing with your community. Have a blessed rest of your day and a very blessed full moon in